Good morning, students. So let's start with a new topic. In the previous lecture, we have studied different types of operators that we use in JavaScript. Now the next topic is comments in JavaScript. So what is comment in JavaScript? So whenever we design a program, it is always preferable to use comment in a program to indicate that what is the logic of the program and what we are going to do in the program, because sometimes we make programs for another person or another client, so it is easy for the second party or the client to understand the program by just reading the comment. Now next thing is comments are non-executable part of the program. Comments are non-executable part of the program. Now what is non-executable part? Non-executable part means they do not execute with the program as the program executes. The reason is we do not have to do anything with the comment. Comment is just for the recommendation, or comment is just a line which represents the meaning of the program in a single line. So comments are used to provide information or explanation about the programming construct. The statements added in comments are ignored by the JavaScript. As I have already told you, these are non-executable part. So these are ignored by the JavaScript. Now we have two types of comments: single line comment and multi-line comment. Now what is single line comment? Single line comment means when we have to write the comment in a single line, then we have to follow that syntax while writing a single line comment: double slash and then you can write comment. In case of single line comment, you cannot write comment of more than one line. But if you want to write a comment with the more length or with multiple lines, then you cannot write it by using single line. So in that case, you have to make use of multi-line comment. Now what is multi-line comment? Multi-line comments are used to comment on more than one line. So when you want to write a comment with large content or 3-4 lines, 2-3-4 lines, then you can make use of multi-line comment. So while writing a multi-line comment, you have to follow the syntax, that is slash, asterisk, and then you have to write the comment and then close with the asterisk and slash. So in this you have to make use of forward slash as well as backward slash and asterisk sign. So this is how we can write comments in JavaScript, and it is always preferable to make use of comments. Now next topic is commonly used built-in functions in JavaScript. Now what are built-in functions in JavaScript? Built-in functions. So first of all, what is function? Function is when we make use of functions are the building blocks, and we can make use of functions to perform any task, to solve any problem. We can make function according to the choice of the user to perform any task or to solve specific problem. But in every language has some built-in functions. Built-in functions means which are already predefined by the language. So which functions are already predefined by the language, we call it as built-in functions. So when we have to use built-in functions, what we have to do is we just have to use the name of that function, then it performs its task according to the predefined function. So we can make use of predefined functions and built-in functions, and they provide efficiency in a program. Now function is used to perform repetitive tasks. As I have told you that we can make use functions to solve the problems, and we also make functions when we have to repeat the things. For example, we want to perform sum of two numbers, and later on we want to also perform sum of two numbers but with another value, then we can make use of same function. So functions are most commonly used to perform repetitive tasks. So it is reusable code. So this is the main property of the functions, that is reusability. We can reuse a single function again and again. So overall it reduces the time of the user. Now functions in JavaScript. Parse int. Now what is parse int? This function is used to parse a string and convert it into a number. Next is parse float. This function is used to parse a string and convert it into a floating point representation when we want to convert a number into floating point. Next is alert. This function is used to display alert pop-up box with OK button. So for example, you must have seen this box on the online website. When you click on some button, dialog box appears. So this is just because of this function, alert box. So this is also called as message box. We also call it as message box. For example, whenever we make payments, then after making the payment, we got a dialog box that is payment done or okay. So this is just because of this alert box. Next is prompt. This function is used when you want input value from the user at the time of the program execution. So whenever you want value at the time of the execution, in that case we make use of prompt. So the real life example of prompt is, for example, when we sign in or when we do login somewhere, so the prompt box appears, and when you type password it allows you to proceed. So this is example of prompt box. It because it takes input from the user at the execution time. And another real life example of prompt is when you make payments and you got OTP. So this is another example of this. Next is confirm box. This function displays confirmation message box with the OK and the cancel button. Confirm, you must have seen this at when you make payments and when you place orders. At the end they give you one pop-up menu or dialog box with the confirmation message that are you sure you want to do this. Then this is because of this confirm box. Next is to lowercase. This function is used to convert the string into lowercase. Next function is to uppercase. This function is used to convert the string into uppercase. Next is nan. It returns true if the given value is not a number. It returns false if the given value is number, that is it is not number. So these all are the built-in functions in JavaScript, and we can simply use it by just referring the name of these functions. Now this is one example of JavaScript. You can see here in this example they have used prompt box, and on the right hand side there is a output. Now next is decision making statements. Now what are decision making statements? Decision making statements are the statements that we use whenever we have to decide that what we have to do. So every language has different types of statements, and decision making is one of the most common statement which is used by every language. So JavaScript also make use of decision making statements. We have different statements in this category and we have to study all these. Let's start with the first if statement. Now what is if statement? If statement, we make use of if statement when we have only a single condition, and we can write only single condition in a if statement. So look at the syntax given in the diagram. If condition, then statement block, curly bracket, statement block. It means we write the condition. If the condition is true, then it will execute the block whatever we will give inside the block. So in if statement we can write only one condition and it will execute the block if the condition is true, otherwise it will not do anything. The next category is if else statement. Now if else is another statement. Now in this we can take two cases because there are two words if and else. So in this case we can write two conditions, one in the if part and another in the else part. So it will execute only one condition, either if or else. depending upon the situation, depending upon the condition. So you can write two conditions, one in the if part and one in the else part, and it will execute only one part at a same time, at a execution time, either if or else part. So for example, we want to check the marks of the student, we can write condition: if marks of a student is greater than 50%, then result is pass, else result fail. So if a student is scoring 29 marks, then he will get the result as fail, and if a student is scoring 80 marks, then he will get the result as pass. So there are two cases, but in case of if, simple if, there is only one case. We do not have any else part or any another case. So this is if and if else. Next is we also have one more category, ladder if and nested if. Nested if is when we define if statement within another if statement, and ladder if is we also call it as else if else if. We also call it as else if. Ladder if means we can write multiple if statements. So that is ladder if. Now let's start with the new topic. User defined functions. Now what are user defined functions? So see students, as in the previous topic we have studied built-in functions. Now we have to study user defined functions. User defined functions are the functions which are defined by the user, which are not predefined. User can define it. So that is user defined function. So a function is any scripting and programming language that we require again and again. As I have already told you, we can reuse the code in a function. So this is the property of the function, that is reusability, and it helps to make the program smaller. A function is a sub program designed to perform a particular task. So functions can be called either by event or by giving call to that function. So there are two ways that how we can call a function. So we can call a function by giving a call. It means we can call a function and we can also trigger that function. So we will see that how we can write a function, what is the syntax to define a function. So look at the syntax, function definition. So function is a keyword, so you have to write function, function name. Function name, you can provide any of the function name, for example sum, you can write sum, and then in the bracket you have to pass the arguments, you have to give the parameters, that is values, and then statement block, whatever you want to write you have to write inside the statement block. So by this way you can create functions. So look at the example number 11. This is an example of a JavaScript in which they have created a function show, and they have used the alert box to display the message welcome to function, and you will get the output as output number 11, welcome to function, with the alert box okay. Now next topic is event handling in JavaScript. Now what is event handling in JavaScript? Event handling is how we can handle different events in JavaScript. Event is when user perform anything, when user clicks on the mouse, when user clicks on the keyboard, the event occurs, and how the event occurs. So we have two categories of events, mouse events and keyboard events. So look at the first category, mouse events. In the mouse events we have on mouse out, on click, on mouse over, on mouse up. So the event occurs when you click on the mouse, when you move the mouse out from that area, or when you move the mouse over that area, or when you release the mouse from the button. So it depends upon the organization, it depends upon the user that what type of event they want to use. Different categories uh, or different types of events are available. User can make use of any of the event. Next is keyboard event. In case of keyboard event, user can make use of on key down and on key up. The event will occur when the user press the key, or the event will occur when the user release the key. So again it depends upon the user that what type of event we want to use. So program number 12 and program number 10 is the example where they have used alert boxes, and they have created a form. Now let's start with the next topic, use of call span attribute in a table. So we have already studied table tag, we have already studied row span, call span. Now this is related to that topic, that is call group. The call group, that is short for column group, this tag specifies a group of one or more columns in a table for formatting. So if you want to do a formatting in more than one columns, then you can make use of this tag. Similarly, you can make use of call tag. Next and the last topic of this unit is HTML T body, T head, T foot tag. Now what is T body, T head and T foot tag? So table rows may be grouped into table head, table, you have already studied table header tag. So table head, table foot and one or more table body section by using T head, T foot and T body tags respectively. So browser can use of these elements to enable scrolling of the table body independently of the header and the footer. You can also make use of header footers in a table, and you can move the header footers easily with these tags. So also when printing a large table that spans multiple pages, these elements enable the table header and footer to be printed at the top and the bottom of the each page. So it becomes convenient for the user to count the pages, and it also improves the lookout of the page. So T head tag is used in conjunction with the T body and T foot tag. TRTD tags, you know why we use TRTD, to create row and data. So these are used inside T head tag, T body tag and T foot tag to create data items of respective section. So you can make use of all these tags. Now T head tag, T body tag, T foot tag. So look at the program number 5.2. There is an example that how can make use of all these tags. You can try this example at your end and you will get the output as in 5.2. So you will get a table form. In this category, in the last row they have performed spanning, and in the respective rows they have applied borders as well as the uh, header tags. So with this, students, we have completed this section, we have completed this unit, and JavaScript is one of the main topic of this unit. So in today's video, we have studied comments in JavaScript. In the last lecture, we have studied operators in JavaScript. Operators are also a very important topic. Then comments in JavaScript, where we have studied these are non-executable path. After that, we have studied built-in functions in JavaScript. You have to remember the name of these built-in functions, because you cannot make changes in the name of any function, because these are built-in. So you have to remember all the names, and you must know the definition of every function, because it is very important. Otherwise you won't be able to decide, or you won't be able to select the particular function according to the situation. So you have to remember all the names of the built-in functions in JavaScript, that is parse int, parse float, alert, prompt, confirm, to lowercase to uppercase and is nan. After that, we have studied different decision making statements, and again this is a important topic, decision making statements, because while writing a program we have to make use of these statements: if else, ladder if and nested if. So these all are the decision making statements. Then after that, we have studied user defined functions. User defined functions are the functions which are defined by the user. User can design a function. So see students, user can design a function according to his choice, but they have to follow the criteria, they have to follow the syntax which is provided by the language. So you have to follow this rule. This is how to define a function. Here this is written that how you can write a function definition, function name. You can provide any function name, and in the bracket you have to give the arguments. So After that, we have studied event handling in JavaScript. So how we can handle events in JavaScript? There are two ways: mouse event and keyboard events, and we have studied the mouse events and keyboard events. So there is one more topic, that is features of JavaScript. So in the features of JavaScript, these are the features like perform input data validation. So we use JavaScript majorly for the data validation, to validate the data, to verify the users, to verify the data. It is lightweight scripting language. It is case sensitive language. Case sensitive means there is a difference between lowercase and uppercase. Next is, it makes web pages more interactive. This is the reason why we are studying JavaScript, because it makes web pages interactive and it can handle data and time effectively. After that, we have studied call group, and the last topic was HTML, T body, T head and T foot tag. So with this, we have completed this unit. Tomorrow we will start with the last unit of IT. So that's all for today.